Welcome everyone to this special edition of When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong. And I wanted to bring light to the subject of online dating. Guys, please be careful when you're doing online dating because you never know who you're going to meet. This case shook me to the core because a lot of times I do cases on females, but this actually happened to a male who went on to the dating website Plenty of Fish only to end up setting a date to meet a young female. And when he met her, the young lady set him up not only to be robbed, but he ended up losing his life. Let me give you some details and then I'm going to show a news clip. Shania Davis appeared in court on Tuesday to enter a plea of not guilty to a lesser charge, accessory after the fact of murder, instead of the initial second-degree murder charge. This came after meeting Marty McMillan, who was killed on April 2017 after he and Davis agreed to meet up after meeting on the dating app Plenty of Fish. He was last seen on April the 22nd, 2017 on the 2900 block of M Street. This is in Southeast. This happened in Southeast DC. He told his family he was going out to meet the woman that he met. So at least he had the common, sense to let his family know. And what happened was the girlfriend set him up. When he got to the house, two gentlemen jumped him, robbed him, and eventually killed him. The boyfriend of the accused was arrested in April and charged with second-degree murder, unlawful possession of a firearm during a crime, and they're still awaiting sentencing. Now let's watch this news clip.
New tonight, details on an investigation into a D.C. murder mystery. The victim is 22-year-old Marty McMillan Jr. He disappeared 9 months ago. Investigators now say he was shot to death, and his grieving family has some tough questions for police. Pete Muntean is here with more on this case. Pete.
Sad story, Adam. A new autopsy report changed this into a murder investigation. It is being handled by D.C. police. McMillan was last seen on M Street Southeast last April, but his body was not found until October in Maryland. The new report says he was shot more than once. All of those things have left his family with countless questions tonight. Marty McMillan Jr. would stay with his grandmother in Hyattsville. I just spoke to her. She thinks the police could have taken this more seriously. The family is suspicious about what happened right before he vanished. McMillan met a woman on the dating website Plenty of Fish. His grandmother says she has seen the text. She thinks police should have acted faster.
My grandson laid out there almost 6-7 months. I think if they had listened to me in the beginning, if they had put more resources on it, then we might have found him before now.
I also spoke with D.C. police tonight. They are giving us only a statement, but they insist they take missing person cases like this seriously. Police have put up a $25,000 reward for an arrest. Tonight would have been Marty McMillan Jr.'s 23rd birthday. Pete Muntean, WUSA 9.
Okay, guys, please let me know what you think about this story. Put your comments down in the comment section. And if you'd like for me to do more stories concerning missing men, because like I always told you guys before, I normally do my cases surrounding women and children, but I also want to include men as well. And there's another case of a young man who also went missing only to be set up again. So guys, please be mindful when you're going on to these online dating apps. It's just truly sad. He was 22 at the time. Nobody deserves to die that way. No one. Once again, tune in to Southernbelle 74. Every Sunday, I do 8 unsolved missing and a broken justice system. Also, check me out on multiple media websites. You can catch me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. Of course, I have my YouTube channel here, Southernbelle 74. I also do a Friday night special on Spreaker Radio. So, guys and young women, please be mindful when you're on these online dating websites. It might seem fun at first, but it could end up costing you your life. Thank you so much for tuning in. And stay tuned as I continue to give you hot topics of the day as well as celebrity and entertainment news. Be blessed.
He was the boyfriend who swept Zanea Barney off her feet.
You said he almost seemed like the dream guy.
Yeah, still like a wonderland with him.
She says 27-year-old Danielle Drayton was a handsome, charismatic conversationalist she met on a dating app.
Like, we talked so much, we had so much in common. You know, he seemed like a real good guy.
She had no idea her life was in danger.
You never wake up one day and be like, my boyfriend that I'm dating is gonna try to kill me.
The man she thought she was falling for, allegedly stalking her, threatening her,
I'll kidnap that
and her son,
go to anything.
nearly choking her to death. Now we're learning Danielle Drayton is also a suspected murderer and rapist, accused of killing 29-year-old nurse Samantha Stewart last month and luring a number of women he met on dating sites into a string of heinous assaults. Zanea says Drayton first contacted her on the app Plenty of Fish in November of last year. She says she wasn't even looking for love.
He hit me up for like 2 days straight, didn't pay it any mind. Then I finally replied. And from there, like, our conversations went like every day.
They struck up a fast friendship. It quickly turned to romance.
He wanted a lot in life and he had goals. No red flags, nothing to complain about. It was a delight to talk to him at that time.
How often did you guys see each other?
Every day. It was not a day we didn't see each other.
They dated 6 months. Drayton even met her young son. Zanea asked us not to show him.
The perfect guy. That's how it's, pretended to be.
But alarm bells went off when she saw another woman calling Drayton's phone. Zanea picked up.
And I was just like, oh, how did you meet him? She said, oh, through the app. I said, Plenty of Fish. She said, yes. And I was like, okay, but did he mention to you, he has a girlfriend? She was like, oh, no, he didn't mention that at all. And I just told him to get out my car. And that was how things started going left from that point on.
She says she broke it off, but he persisted, pleading to get her back, even trying to contact her on social media using multiple aliases.
And how did things start to spiral?
Every day he'll keep hitting me up, like he'll wait outside my house to the point he'll sleep outside my house, spend the night, or up watching my window.
When did you start realizing that there might be a threat to you?
The night he waited outside my house, I don't know the particular day, but it was in June.
She says he started throwing rocks at her window, at one point sneaking inside.
And then that's when he placed the ladder clean through my window because I wouldn't let him in my house.
Another night, Barney says she filmed Drayton waiting out front. She claims she began to receive chilling texts and calls like this one, threatening to harm her son.
I'll kidnap that.
That's what you gonna do?
Go to anything. Run to my grave, man.
You gonna do what?
I called you the squat, but you want to talk sideways at your
Say you gonna do what to my son? You say you gonna...
Like I warned you today. I said, yo, sit next to me real quick, and I'm gonna scratch your thing. You didn't text me, just pick up my call, man. It's a game, man. It's not a movie, man.
That's when I knew, he has to go.
On June 13th, things escalated.
The day started off with him blowing my phone up as usual. He just kept calling me. So I was just like, let me just answer. So he was like, oh, can we link up? I just want to talk to you. I'm about to go to California for a job.
She reluctantly agreed to see him off. They met for lunch. He didn't eat, but he asked if she could drop him at a nearby park.
I come into the park, I'm driving like this. I actually pull up exactly right here. That's when he proceeded to sit here and say, are we still gonna be together? Are we still gonna be back together? And I said no.
She says he refused to get out of the car.
And that's when he just looked at me in the car and then jumped across, had both of his knees on top of my knees while my seatbelt was still on. And he got two of his hands stuck, his whole thumb in my throat, and that's why I still have the mark to this day.
At some point, did you think this is it?
When he was choking me, I can't even describe the feeling. That's when I kept feeling like this is it. I just kept thinking about my son. Like I have to live for my son. I have to get out.
In the very spot where it happened, she shows us how she narrowly escaped.
So I couldn't breathe, and at that moment, I had no choice but to just use my door and open it. And I got out, fell like this on the floor. And as I looked up, I seen 3 men come out the parking lot.
3 workers, seeing her in distress, rushed to help.
They asked me where I was all right. They was trying to save me from him. He viciously came around the car trying to attack me again. He kept saying he was gonna kill me.
The men call police, but Drayton takes off.
If those 3 men didn't appear, I wouldn't be here.
Days later, Drayton was arrested and eventually charged with trespassing and strangulation. But a Nassau County judge later granting his release. Turns out, Drayton had already served 4 years in a Connecticut prison on multiple charges, including second-degree strangulation, unlawful restraint, and violating a restraining order. The Nassau County Court telling ABC News there was no way the judge could have known. The judge didn't know there was an out-of-state criminal history. Weeks after his release, that New York nurse Samantha Stewart is found dead in her home. Another 23-year-old woman raped. Police uncover both had gone on a date with Drayton.
The common denominator in these 2 cases, one being a murder, one being a rape, is dating websites.
How concerned were you when you found out that he had been released after that incident with you?
I was scared. I found out he was released that Wednesday when they pronounced that he may have murdered that young lady. I was so scared. I'm like, what can a mother do to protect her son?
The hunt leads investigators all the way to California.
2 independent investigations, as they progressed, led our detectives to one and the same individual. That individual was tracked across the country.
A fugitive task force and Los Angeles police eventually tracking him down in North Hollywood, arresting him last week in a hotel where they say he had raped and attempted to kill a woman he was holding hostage. He has pleaded not guilty to those charges. Drayton allegedly told investigators he had committed as many as 7 murders. Authorities now investigating.
At this point in time, any comments that he's made to us about his participation in other crimes has not been verified yet, but there is a lot of work to do.
In an interview with the New York Daily News, Drayton speaking out from behind bars, admitting he did choke Zanea, calling himself a, quote, good person, but saying that voices in his head make him do these things. Drayton went on to claim he was hoping to get caught because he didn't want anyone else to get hurt. But Zanea says that man she once fell for should not be underestimated.
No, I would literally believe that he would kill. Like, his eyes, everything he did to me, I believe that he's capable of anything.
You feel guilt?
I felt guilty in the beginning because I kept feeling like, how can I not see the signs?
Zanea now says she's swearing off all those dating apps for good.
Has this changed your outlook on those online dating apps?
Completely. I deleted every single one.
Los Angeles detective Trent Thurber investigates criminals using online dating to prey on their victims.
Online dating makes it a lot easier to trick somebody.
Thurber's advice when dating online, take things slow and do your research.
Checking the internet, there's a lot of information out there. Background checks are always good if you're willing to go the extra mile.
Experts say you can reverse image search your date to see where else their photo pops up. And trust your gut if something feels off.
Our instinct maybe needs to come into play. If you get one of those nervous feelings, maybe that's the time to to cut it off and move on.
For Zanea, her harrowing experience has forced painful reflection and conviction to share her story as a warning for others.
Do you feel lucky to have survived?
I feel highly blessed, and I thank God every day about it because I relive it every day, you know. It just doesn't go away.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.